Yeah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. All praises to the Most High God, Yahweh, which means He is or He exists. Bahasham, in the name of His only begotten Son, which He delivers or salvation. He is salvation. Bahasham, right? Rakah Kodash, Spirit Holy or Holy Spirit, as most would say, right? We give double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who, some people believe that's man worship, but you're giving them honors for standing the fight, and being an example to younger men that were going to come up after them, right? Because the Lord said that He was going to smite the earth with a curse if we didn't come back, right? And if you see all these other leaders, they went astray. That's why we say they rule well, right? Because they stayed in the fight and they didn't run astray. Salutations to the Akim and the Four Winds, preaching the truth of sincerity, right? Because that's what this is about, sincerity and truth, right? And the four winds of the earth, right? Bringing in that prophecy, what the Lord said. The hopeful elect, unto the elect, Shalom. To the Israelite foreigners, whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father, and have come back to the fold. Shalom. To you sisters, you Akwathium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. This your brother Aram Yahawada with the lesson. And so this is Reuters, and it's world news basically. This is about 4 minutes ago, which is today, May 20th, 2023, right? This is sometime earlier this morning, and it says G, which is the G7 summit, right? Summit mean mountaintop, right? So this is their that government, that those governmental heads that come together, which when the scriptures we know is when it says mountains, it's talking about what? Governments, right? And this one of those things that prove it, because that's what summit means. So it says Titans, G7 Titans Russian sanctions. So they're gonna put more sanctions, which basically brings in World War III a lot faster. It brings in famine a lot faster, right? Looks to cut China trade relations. So pretty much everything in America, I don't know too much about anywhere else in the world, but definitely here in America where I live at, everything comes from China, right? So you cut off relations with trading with them, what would you have, right? There's no more factories or anything here in America like it used to be, right? The things that they used to have, they don't have it no more. You know, all the things, the industrial things that they have uh, came up with in the past, and basically sent it to other countries where now they produce better quality um, better quality products than the people where it initially came from, you know, because you wanted to cut so-called money, I guess that you was trying to say, so you could be more rich. But now your your dollar is going down. There's no really thing for you to create your own thing. So really, they're pretty much, they're done with America. You heard the dude Abraham Finkelstein, and if you haven't heard it, you should try to listen to it if you can, if it's even on YouTube anymore. But the Abraham Finkelstein guy said they were done with America, but it's not that they're done. It's just they don't have, they ruined it, and it'll cost too much to try to put it back to the way it was. So now they just got to be done with it. You know, it was their cash cow. You know what I mean? That's why the Lord said if they could have healed Babylon, they would have healed it, right? So, to Lazinski. Well, what's I saying? But this is written by Kaja, something, however you say the name, and James, Irish. Says Lazinski expect to arrive on Saturday evening. G summit members agreed to step up sanctions on Russia. G7 wants to stable and constructive China ties drift. So they say they basically want to constantly basically drift away from trading with China, which that's going to be hard for the American people, or just the people of the world just in general, but definitely for America, because all our things come from China. So then what is that going to increase? Starvation. It's going to increase wars. It's going to increase racial ties. Even then, what is it? Rich against poor. It's gonna create a lot of different things, man. It's gonna bring trouble. This Hiroshima, Japan, May 19th. Right. Leaders of world richest democracies act on Friday to stiffen sanctions against Russia, while drift communicata to be issued after their talk in Japanese city of Hiroshima stressed the need to reduce relation on trade with China, which that's bad for you. Hey man, this is not good at all. This is clear and cut that the Lord is bringing an end to the Edomite world power, right? Because they think that they're thinking of this thing on their own. This is their so-called bailout. This is their way out. This is their way to transfer funds over into the digital currency. So it could be like a slow collapse. So that way they have time to trade it over into the digital currency. But the Lord said he knew you were going to do this. And you're literally play by play doing it exactly how the Lord said you were going to do. I mean, the group of seven, because, hey, matter of fact, it said seven heads in the scriptures. right? Which we know that's talking about the old ancient thing, but even in this though, 7 heads. Leaders to be joined this weekend by Ukraine President, was it Vladimir Zelensky, pledged to strict any restrict any exports to Russia that could help President Vladimir Putin in invasion of of his neighbor, and to stop sanctions busting. It says today's actions will further tighten the vice on Putin's ability to wage his barbaric invasion, and will advance our global efforts to cut off Russian attempts to evade sanctions. So they're trying to figure out a way to stop him from basically making money. But when they did that, he just kicked up production more. He sold more oil, sold more products, and then he ended up making more money than he would have if they would have just left him alone. You know what I mean? This whole thing with them sanctioning him has backfired thus far. But, this is the Lord showing that this man is but a child. Like the scriptures say, he that is younger than me, even though Esau was actually technically born before Jacob, right? So he's older, but he's young in the mentality that he has, right? No self-respecting person pollutes the air, pollutes the water, destroys all the things, and destroy the people, but yet you still want dominion over everything. It proves it proves that you're an unrighteous ruler, like the scriptures say. You're an unrighteous ruler, right? And the Lord is coming to take it away from you, right? It says, it says U.S. Treasury Department Secretary Janet Yellen said in a statement, was accompanying a rift of new U.S. measures. So it's a statement issued by G7 leaders saying restrictions would cover exports of industrial metal, machinery, tools, and technology useful to Russia's war effort, while efforts would be pursued to limit Russian revenues from trade in metal and diamonds, and it's not doing that. It's it's not reducing their revenue. It's actually backfired on them. Russia has made more revenue under the sanctions than before the sanctions. But it's their, I guess it's like that. For them, they have nothing else. You know, it's their one shop thing. They don't have nothing else to go about doing what they do, like I don't know, a one trick pony basically. They don't have nothing else. So the next thing is, after this, it's gonna go into World War III, because they're a one trick pony, right?
Yeah, so it's not helping you, right, at all. And what the Lord is doing is what? Behold, I will stir up the Medes, right? So really, the sanctions that you're trying to do, thinking that you're slowing up the war efforts, is actually stirring them up, man. Right? When you stir, the old term of stirring someone up is getting them angry. Right? Getting them mad. Right? A thing called like stir crazy, right? You're stirring them up, right? Let's check that out. Yeah, so it's right here. Merriam Dictionary. Stirred up, stirring up, stirred up, right? Transitive, transitivite, or tight, verb, transitive. Yeah, so this is the Merriam Dictionary. Stirs up, stirs up. Transitive verb, to cause someone, right, which is going to be, the king of the Meeks, what right now is Putin, but it could be whoever going to be the king of the Meeks at that time, which right now is looking like Putin. Vladimir. To feel a strong emotional and desire to do something, right? And that's what the Lord is causing to Vladimir Putin, man, by all the way of your sanctions. Yeah, so this is back at Isaiah chapter 13, verse 17. Behold, I will stir up, right, to cause a strong emotion to someone to do something, right? Stir up the Medes, which we know that land is where the Medes used to be at. Because you got the Persians and the Medes, right? And that where Babylon is at, which is the Persians, right? Where Iran's at is ancient Babylon. And then where Russia's at was basically for the ancient Medes, right? The Medes and the Persians, which did rule at one point in time, right? And who took down the Medo-Persian Empire? It was the goat, right? So the Lord is allowing those same people to stir things back up, to bring the entire heathen empire down, starting with Esau, which is the head heathen empire, right? Esau, Edom, with Amalek, starting with Amalek, because Amalek is going to war against Iran, which is the Persians, which is then is going to get the Medes involved, right? Which will be Russia, right? which is that land, the land of the Meeks, where Russia's at, and then
Hey, so did we get your order? Yeah.
the that land of the Meeks, right, to bring this whole thing down, right? You know what I'm saying? But just to get to it, against them which shall not regard, yeah, and at the end of this thing, they're not all these sanctions, this and this and that, this and that, and then you're gonna try to throw money at them. But that's been the trick of the devil for a long time, and Vladimir Putin is a devil himself, but he's one of those devils that got a little more integrity. You know what I mean? I mean, all you Edomites are devils, but there's some of you devils got more integrity than others. You know what I mean? Like the French got in more integrity than the Brits, but then the Germans got more integrity than the French, and then what they call Russia, which are Edomites technically, got more integrity than all the Edomites, right? But nevertheless, you're the enemy, and your kingdom has to go by a way of this war tree, right? And the Lord's gonna have where Putin don't regard your silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it, man. Why? Your gold is cankered. The things that puffed America up is no longer reverenced. You know what I mean? Right? Most of the world, America's no longer reverenced. Right? Yeah, so this is Job chapter 33, verse 15. Matter of fact, let's go to 14 real quick, because you know what I mean, to get more into it. It says, for Yahweh speaketh once, yea, twice, yet men perceive not. Right? So the Lord has prophets out there. You do your digital epistles. You go out on the corners. You speak. You're breaking down the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, the proper doctrine down. Right? The meekness, the humbleness, the patience that we have had, the long suffering we have endured, and yet they're not perceiving it, right? They're not perceiving that we have to be those men, right? Starting with the apostles, right? The elders, of Great Millstone on down. We have to be those people, man. I've been amongst the brothers. You could sense the spirit that these brothers have, man. Hey, man. We have to be though, but you're not perceiving it, right? In a dream, in a vision of the night, right? So your dreams, when deep sleep fall upon men, and slumberings upon the bed, then open the ears of men, and sealeth their instructions, right? For the instructions for what? To stir up the Meeks, stir up that anger, that emotion.
Yeah, so this is Romans chapter 11, verse 7. What then, right? Question. What then? Israel have not obtained that which he seeketh for, right? Which talking about, when it's talking about men, it's not talking about all men. It's only talking about Israelites, just like the continuation of here. And it said the rest perceived it not. But what? It's dealing with the Israelite man. For says, Israel have not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election, right, which is dealing with the other people of Israel, have obtained it, and the rest were blinded, right? So only the elect out of Israel obtained it, and the rest of the Israelites were blinded. Yeah, so this is Romans 11:7, the Amplified version. It says, what then? Israel failed to obtain what it was what it was seeking. That is God's favor, right? Because ultimately, even the elect don't deserve, but it's called favor, right? The David said, "Blessed is the man that is imputed with righteousness, that his sin is not counted against him," right? By by obedience to the law, right? But the elect, right? Those chosen few, so they're already predestined, chosen, obtained it, right? Because the Lord made it to be where these people would obtain the true wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, while the rest of them became hardened and callous and indifferent. So no matter how much we go out there and preach, the Lord said in Ezekiel, yeah, go out there and teach. They will not listen to you, for they will not listen to me. But go to this rebellious people anyway, right? Yeah, so this is Ezekiel 38:10. Thus saith the Lord, power, Yahweh, the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. It shall also come to pass that at that same time, right, the end of the time of judgment, the things that's happening now, you're getting to that point, right? Shall things come into thy mind, which is talking about the king of the Meeks, right, which is Russia, to come against the what? America. Right? So why are they doing all those tariffs and this and that and cutting off ties with China? It's only going to be the demise of America. So the Lord, how do you stir up things? Right? Matter of fact, even this, yeah, so in that same time shall things come into thy mind, right? To stir you up. The Lord's going, he sealeth the things in your dreams. So he's going to stir up things within your mind, in your dream, within your mind. And thus shall think an evil thought. So, well, what are you thinking when it's an evil thought? You're going to be on your defense mode, right? So, like the brother was saying, it ain't going to be Putin that pushed the nukes, the button for the nukes. It's Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai pushing the buttons for the nukes. Matter of fact, let's go up right here. Because it says, it's Ezekiel 38:3. and say, thus saith the Lord, power, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, behold, which means feast your eyes, look, pay attention, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince, right? And I believe Rasha in the Hebrew, which goes into Russia, means chief, right? And then a ruler, you know, when you go through the scriptures, a lot of the rulers are known as princes, right? So Russia is a chief prince, right? Of Meshach and Tubal, and this is talking about Russia. This is how you know the whole thing actually goes back to Russia, because Russia means like basically chief prince, right? I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. So what? Stirring up that mind for war. I'm gonna put hooks in your jaws. When you, if you ever been fishing and you catch a fish and that hooks in the jaw, what is that fish doing? It starts a fight. So the Lord said He's gonna bring Russia into that Cold War mentality, ready to fight, and they're showing it, right? I will put hooks in thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thy armies, see, horses and horsemen, and all them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with buckler and with shield, and all them handling sword, which the modern day sword is the gun, and ultimately the ICBM missiles. That's the Lord's sword, that ICBM missiles, right? Yeah, let me come back down here. Ezekiel 38 and 10 said, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, power, Bashem Yahweh Shai, it shall also come to pass that at that same time shall things come into thy mind, huh? Putting them hooks in the jaws, stirring up things in your mind, why He sealeth in a dream to what? To come up against these Americans in thy mind, and thus shall think an evil thought, right? And thus shall say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages, and that's America, man. You got a lot of unwalled, unprotected places, man. Even Trump said that your defense system's not good enough. You know, there's people that bragged about your military. You would think you would have had plenty of defense system. You had plenty of bunkers. How is it that Russia has prepared a bunker for its citizens? That way, it could save the whole city of Moscow. But you don't have that. You bragged about being the richest country in the world. You mean you're the richest country in the world, and you didn't do that? You're basically you're careless, right? It's gonna say, the land of unwalled villages, I will go to them that are at rest. See, you're just at rest. Everything is lackadaisical, and you didn't give a damn, right? You didn't think about your latter end. That dwelleth safely. See, you've been dwelling so relaxical and so safety because you used the ocean as your wall, but now you got hypersonic missiles that's gonna get there fast, and make up vast thousands of miles of space, and blow a hole in places the size of Texas. You know what I mean? So all of them dwelling without walls. See, it's just it's stupid. You didn't put up a better defense system. You didn't put up any walls. Your border between Mexico and America is just open. Canada is just open, right? You're without walls, having neither bars nor gates. See, and the Lord's gonna cause it, which that's already happening. You know, the end of that Article 40, 42 or whatever it is, with the immigrants. Now more people are coming in, but a lot of those people are sleeper cells. These are people who waiting to blow themselves up, blow up a major building. America has not learned suffering the way other countries have learned suffering, but you're about to, right? So call Loyum Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem Rakal Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the Akim in the four winds, preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever. The hopeful elect, the elect, Shalom, to the Israelite foreigners whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through their father and have come back to the fold. Shalom to you sisters, you Akwathium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. And a Bible ball.